Hello, beautiful people. Hope you're enjoying the holidays, having a good time there, just playing games, spending time with family, and just enjoying life in general. But it's that time again. Steam Winter Sale has fallen upon us, much like the meteor from space that wiped out the dinosaurs. It's going to wipe out our wallets. But don't worry, Wolfman Dan 08 is here to tell you about a few specials to keep an eye on. Most of these games prices have dropped over 50% or on the exact number, but every single one of them is worth purchasing. Now you might be looking at this background, seeing me play a game, being like, what's that? Caltech, the only game that's not on this list because it's only a 25% discount. If you're interested in getting yourself only the best games this winter sale, then sit back, grab a drink, and listen to me tell you what's on the menu. XCOM 2 with a 90% discount. Now if you don't own this classic turn-based strategy game, then I highly recommend you get on Steam and buy this. There's so much content in this game, just from the main base storyline, mods you can download later, and if you're willing to dive even deeper, the War of the Chosen DLC, which, let me tell you, will drive you completely insane, but also keep a smile on your face. Fair warning, if you think 95% is a clear chance of landing a blow or a shot in this game, then I have some bad news for you. But please, if you haven't played this game, get yourself a copy and enjoy it. Lies of P with a 50% discount. Now Lies of P is probably my favorite Souls-like that isn't just the mainline series from Software. The combat is incredible. The weapons you find and pick up and their alternate modes or interesting use of the switching mechanic or how you charge them up, so much fun. I enjoy the heck out of this game. The lore and story behind everything is incredibly well written and thought out. Like, I never thought you could make a Souls-like out of Pinocchio and somehow have it not only make sense but be compelling. But NeoWiz did it, and they did it incredibly well. Also, the level design, backtracking, and how everything is connected together is so wonderful and well made. Bosses are great, combat encounters are fun, except the clown. If you know the clown, and you know what I'm talking about, please tell me I'm not the only one who suffered endlessly fighting that stupid clown, only to find there was a second one later down the line. Game rocks though, highly recommended, have fun with it. Viscera Fest with a 50% discount. This is my game of the year actually. I really loved Viscera Fest. Bunny hopping around, swapping between weapons, just finding out the tactics of how to deal with a bunch of hordes. Just such an amazing boomer shooter. Probably one of the best I have ever played. And I don't see enough people talk about this game, which is a real shame because it is a lot of fun. And it uses such interesting combat compared to other boomer shooters where you have a very limited amount of ammo and you really need to make it work based on what enemies you're fighting. Definitely a game worth checking out if you enjoy fast-paced boomer shooter action, and one of the best from the year. Clash, Artifacts of Chaos with a 90% discount. Now this comes to us from the amazing Ace team, one of the most underrated developers on Steam. They have a ton of games. They're all actually on sale if you want to go check them out, but I recommend Clash, Artifacts of Chaos by far because it's their most beautiful game, just with this watercolor art style. It's just so incredible to look at. You play as the fighter Pseudo, who has a small creature under his care. He needs to take on a journey across this very, very strange land. And across the way, you'll take parts in hand-to-hand fights, which usually start off beforehand by playing a dice game, which gives some bonuses or negatives based on what the rules say. It's such an interesting game to talk about because it's kind of a Souls-like, but not at all. The combat encounters, how they work and how they're set up with the dice rolls beforehand, mean that you can find yourself in a fight where maybe you lose the use of your one hand, or you have some impediment that will make the fight a little bit harder, or they have something against them that makes the fight harder. Very interesting game, a lot of fun, beautiful visuals. Without delving too much into it, the story will not just pull on your heartstrings, but rip them straight out. It is such a wonderful game, and I wish more people talked about it. It is definitely one of the more interesting games. Highly recommended. Check it out. Dusk with a 66% discount. What needs to be said? The game that started the boomer shooter revival and still one of the best. So many fun weapons to use, great level design. I mean, fantastic level design. So many secrets, open avenues to go through. You'll find yourself in areas where you're like, oh, I know what's going to happen here. And then, whoop, horror segment. great enemies to fight. Really just a benchmark title for the boomer shooter genre. David Szymanski really knocked it out of the park with this one, and it is still a game I highly recommend playing. Also, the multiplayer is still active. It keeps getting updates. They added mods, I think, a year or two ago. And just a pro tip, if you find a bar of soap, pick up that soap. It's very useful if you throw it at an enemy. See what happens. And go have fun. With this price, how can you not? Nine Kings with a 50% discount. The only early access game on this list, but wow, what a great game. I did not expect to fall in love with this one so much, but it is so much fun. It's kind of an interesting twist on tower defense slash card building roguelite, and you will spend hours on this and just get completely lost. Choose your kingdom, build your hand, build around your kingdom to get units to defend against enemies attacking every turn, pick up bonuses later on, rinse, repeat. It tricks you with just that simple concept. But once you get into it, you unlock the different kings, you see what abilities they have, you mix match some of the cards, like you can get cards from the one into the other, like say you're the plant king, I forget his name, I don't remember the king's names, and then you get the cards that allow you to summon demons by making blood, by causing enemies to bleed more. By the way, plant king, underrated. I just have an entire field full of mushrooms who keep constantly shooting at enemies, and that makes me just happy. Great game, a lot of fun. I see they keep adding more and more stuff to it, so I'm really excited to see what the full release is going to be like once that happens. Okay, so the next one is two games, but they're kind of in the same franchise, so I just lumped them together. Aliens Fireteam Elite with an 80% discount, and Aliens Dark Descent with a 60% discount. Now, I love these two games. Aliens Fireteam Elite, while it is a multiplayer shooter, you can play it single player, and I actually did play that single player a lot, and I really enjoyed it. Simple, yes, you just shoot wave after wave of enemies, not that much mission variety, but just how it is designed is so much fun. That sound it makes every time you kill an enemy or get a headshot, oh, I can hear it all day. It just satisfies me every time it happens. The progression system as you unlock new classes and unlock abilities for them, just, it is great. I wouldn't say it's on the same level as, say, Left 4 Dead 1 or 2. It's definitely up there with one of the better free-player co-op games and is just a ton of fun. It's at its lowest price, yes. Get yourself a copy, get your friends a copy, or force them to buy themselves a copy and just spend a weekend going through this game. But then there's Aliens Dark Descent, which is the Alien strategy game, and again, very underrated. I don't hear enough people talk about it. Get your squad, build them up. It's kind of like the antithesis of XCOM 2, where that is a slower paced turn-based strategy game. Aliens Dark Descent is fast. It is fun. And you will be stressed out the whole time because you can lose a unit so quick, and watching them get dragged off into the darkness is one of the most stressful experiences I've ever had in a video game. Highly recommended you check this out if you love strategy games. The interesting movement mechanics, the way it integrates real-time combat with slowing down time is incredible. Highly recommended. Check it out. Both titles, that is. Laika Aged Through Blood. Here we have a 70% discount from this amazing Metroidvania, which most interesting concept for Metroidvania in a while, because you are on a bike the whole playthrough, which means you have to control your bike, take shots, do some tricks, and just somehow survive. This game is difficult, I will not lie about it. Some of these combat encounters, as you have to block bullets with your bike and also get a shot off, satisfying, but scary difficult sometimes. Also, you have amazing art style. This 2D hand-drawn style is beautiful to look at and just moves effortlessly. It looks so good on screen, and along with a story that is very dark, it hits you in all the spots right from the beginning. It does not hold any punches. Good length of a game as well, very difficult, strong writing, characters, levels, platforming. It has everything you need in a good Metroidvania, but is different enough where it stands apart from the crowd. Chernobylite Complete Edition for an 80% discount. The old we have Stalker at home, but I'm just kidding. Chernobylite is great. It's a bit different from Stalker. Yes, it's set in a wasteland. Yes, there's radiation and anomalies and everything going around. But the mission structure is different. This is not an open world game. This is more a level-based progression you go through. Grab some missions, get some quests, go to areas, build up your base, and find out the secret of what happened in the exclusion zone. Chernobylite is a lot of fun. I do like the sneaking aspect of this game, going into levels and just like going around, ruffling through things, trying to find all the items, get some gear, get some loot to help upgrade your base. Thanks to having a base, you have that visual of just seeing yourself progress through the game and build up stuff and build your area. It's a lot like the base building aspect of Fallout 76, except you don't have to play Fallout 76. You can play a game that is a lot of fun right from the start. There's no building up to stuff. You get a gun pretty quickly. Yes, there's an opening tutorial mission, which, I don't really like in these types of games, but after you're given the reins to the kingdom, you can just go have fun. Find your route through this game and have fun. Crosscode with a 70% discount. Now, the reason I'm talking about this game is next year we're getting Radical Fish Games' next title, Alabaster Dawn. And I played the demo for that. I am so excited, but I have not played Crosscode. And now that Crosscode is on sale, we should all give it a try, I think. Thanks to a YouTuber that I just want to shout out here and I really love, Chicken Fillets, who talks about this game all the time and has sold me on it a while ago. I think it's time for everyone to give this a look. It's a beautiful action RPG with 16-bit SNES style graphics and has a good fast-paced combat system, puzzles that all these old style games have. You ever push a block around and think to yourself, where does that block go? Well, maybe push it around more. You'll find the answer soon enough. And a gripping sci-fi story that will keep you engaged. Honestly, Crosscode, it's beloved for a reason. Psychonauts 1 and 2. Both games have an 85% discount, and both games are certified classics. You're Rasputin, who in the first game goes to a camp for psychics and finds an interesting mystery that needs to be solved. Psychonauts is a really fun puzzle platformer with some cool psychic abilities you can play around with. The first game has you dive into people's minds and witness all kinds of crazy events and scenarios. Second game, same deal, dive into people's heads, see their innermost thoughts, get into their own personalized worlds, and just engage in all kinds of madcap adventure. The writing is on point, it's a lot of fun, level design, great, collectibles, so much fun. If you like puzzle platformers and you've not played this game, what are you doing? These are some of the best in the genre. Dread Delusion with a 46% discount. Now this isn't over 50%, but it's already a pretty cheap game, so I highly recommend it. And if you want a game that'll invoke the feeling of playing Morrowind for the first time again, I highly recommend Dread Delusion. You have a big open world to explore. Go nuts. It's weird. It's wonderful. The visuals will just get trapped inside your head and be like, where do these ideas come from? I don't know. But Lovely Hellplace is an incredible designer, and Dread Delusion is an incredible game. One of the most interesting RPGs on Steam. And if you have not given this a go, I highly recommend it. Incredible world, fun exploration, alright combat, to be honest, not that great, but you can cast spells. Which, if I always say, if close combat sucks, just cast spells. Into the Breach with a 70% discount. I'll be honest with you, when I saw this was on sale, I was like, man, I never finished this game. So I just reinstalled it, and I'm planning on going through it pretty soon. Have a good time with it. Into the Breach is one of the most puzzling turn-based strategy games out there. It is difficult. You will rack your brain to get the proper hits and kill the enemies, but it is so much fun. Also, more games need to allow me to push enemies into things that make them explode. Demon School that came out owes a lot to Into the Breach, I think. It has a lot of similarities in the combat with the way movement and positioning works, and if you've played that game and enjoyed it, then I highly recommend checking out Into the Breach. It's difficult, but man is it satisfying. Grim Dawn with an 85% discount. Now Grim Dawn is still, I think, the GOAT. Even though we get so many of these titles out lately, some great ones, and the genre is kind of upgraded in the sense of like how its combat works and movement mechanics. It's taken a lot from Souls-likes with the dodging and all that. But Grim Dawn is still amazing. I love this post-apocalyptic fantasy world. It's just so oppressive and terrifying in some places. It's really what a proper sequel to Diablo should have been. It's the closest we get to the modern version of Diablo 2 in game design style, I think. It is just incredible, and there's so many options. The world is big and vast, fun to explore. If you want a guy that just uses guns, go ahead. Although, to be fair, you might not do as much damage as you hope because magic is OP in this game, as is the case. As is the case in ARPGs sometimes. But a lot of fun, Highly recommend it. There's some good DLC. You can get those on sale as well. They're on a good discount. Incredible game. Also, it's bundled with Hell Clock if you want to get that as well. Two great ARPGs to play. Hand of Doom with a 70% discount. Now this one's a bit hard to explain. It is an RPG FMV adventure game, but also you cast spells by putting words in a certain order. Yeah, it's a bit weird. I don't know exactly how to explain it that well, but it is interesting to play. From Torpelduk, who made this originally for the Dread XP collection. There was a shorter version of this game. This is the extended version, and they added so much. It even got a big update this year that helped with some quality of life changes, some extra content, some more fun stuff. But if you like weird FMV games, surprisingly deep magic system, and just brain-rackingly good puzzles that need to be solved, then I highly recommend Hand of Doom. You will not be bored while playing this. You might be a bit confused. Superflight with an 80% discount. Now I have been threatening talking about Superflight this entire year, so I can now finally talk more about Superflight. It is a very simple concept. You are just flying down. Not falling, flying down. I guess gliding would be the proper term actually, not flying. If you're flying, it implies you're going to go up, not down. But the point is, you are gliding down and you want to dodge as many rocks as possible, find some crevasses to fly between to get as high as points as you can. It has a chill atmosphere, the music, the sound design, it'll get you all invested, and you can just sit back, raise the volume, and enjoy this relaxing experience that's only relaxing until you find yourself planted face first into a giant rock structure and have to start all over again. Great game, a lot of fun, super cheap right now. Celeste, 75% discount. I don't know what to say about Celeste. It's amazing. Beautiful visuals, tight controls, incredible platforming. Celeste really is a standout indie title. It's one of the best that has ever been released and still holds up incredibly well. If you've not given it a go, if you've not racked your body with so much frustration from failing a level so many times, then I highly recommend trying out Celeste. And now you might be thinking, but if it's so difficult, why should I give it a go? No. Magic word, accessibility. Lots of accessibility options that will help you out if you just want to have a fun time playing a platformer that is very well put together. Give it a go. Tales of Iron with a 92% discount. Now this is a 2D Souls-like I have a lot of love for. It is a ton of fun to play. The combat system's really interesting. There's a parry mechanic much like Sekiro, but it has its own timing, so it's not exactly like Sekiro. But also the amazing 2D drawn art is so wonderful. A lot of interesting weapons to collect, big areas to explore. And I will say, once you get to the steampunk moles, 10 out of 10 experience. Such a wonderful game. I wish more people would talk about it. It is definitely one of the higher tier indie Souls-like. And it did get a sequel this year, but the sequel was not that great. It was a bit disappointing. Tales of Iron 1 though, fantastic game. Styx, Shards of Darkness with a 90% discount. Everyone's favorite acerbic goblin, Styx, is here on a deep sale. And it's great, because the new game is coming out in February. I was not prepared at all. If you want to play a fantastic stealth game, then Styx Shards of Darkness is up there with some of the best of them. Ton of fun, big open areas to explore. You'll have a ton of abilities to play around with, making clones of yourself to distract people so you can stab them from behind. Also, Styx, one of the greatest asshole characters I think we have in gaming, and one I always enjoy spending time with. Although as a side note, I do hope in the sequel they remove him yelling at me during the game over screens. As funny as they are, seeing them every time I get stabbed to death, not that fun. Neon White at a 60% discount. Neon White is an amazing FPS parkour speedrunning game where you play Neon White, an assassin plucked straight from hell to compete with other demon slayers for a shot at redemption. Every run is a different puzzle that needs to be solved. You collect these soul cards which are used for attacking, like a gun, sword, or whatever weapon you pick up. But what makes it interesting is how you use these cards in combination. Sure, you have a pistol, sword, and machine gun, but the order you use them in is vital to getting the best time. And while this might seem like a game with just every level being a challenge, there's actually a story going on here in the background that is very interesting to follow, and there's a lot of characters to talk to, some weird, some wacky, some completely unhinged. Overall, incredibly fast-paced, fun experience that will keep you hooked for hours. Warhammer 40k Mechanicus. Sitting with an amazing 88% discount. Mechanicus is probably my favorite 40k game by far, because as we all know, while you cling to your flesh, the machine is eternal. It's up to you to investigate a world that has been inhabited by the Necron as a group of tech priests from Mars. And during this journey, you will make decisions on which areas to go into, and once you head into these dungeons, there will be more decisions awaiting ahead of you, like do you turn left, right, do you maybe pick up an item that is definitely forbidden by the Imperium, but, could have some value to the tech priests. All of these decisions are important in the long run and could affect every single run you go off. Trust me. You don't want to lose a bunch of party members because you accidentally moved something that made the roof cave in. Fantastic game, hours of content, a lot of fun, very difficult, as well as rewarding. Unavowed with a 70% discount. Unavowed is a point-and-click adventure game from Wadjet Eye Games, one of the greatest developers of point-and-click adventures on Steam, and a company with a lot of reputation for great quality storytelling. Now, what is the plot here? Okay, so one day you get possessed by a demon. Bad news. But then you only wake up a year later after getting saved with an exorcism. And what's happened in that year? You have no idea, but all you know is your family hates you, nobody wants to talk to you, and the police are after you for a series of crimes you committed. So, left with no options, you joined the Unavowed, a secret society of supernatural beings who fight back against the darkness. Now, where this gets interesting is, unlike most point-and-click adventure games, you go off on different missions, which each have their own mystery that need to be solved. And before you go off on a mission, you get to choose who to take with you. And each character is important because they each have a different set of skills. Now, who you take with you will determine the outcome of every mission, because their skills could either be useful or a hindrance, and they have certain opinions about choices you want to make. It's a game with a lot of options when it comes to the storytelling choices that need to be made in order to progress, and you'll face a lot of interesting revelations that need to be dealt with. Really, the thing that sells this game the best is the story is just incredibly well told. The world building is deeper than you'd imagine just from a single game that doesn't even have a sequel. It is not part of a franchise. It is really an amazing time going through this game. Great writing, voice acting, and a good set of characters to get to know and fall in love with. There we go, a set of games on a deep discount that I would highly recommend checking out. Grab every title even. Go crazy. Take out a loan. Sell your house. Gaming this good needs to be savored. But thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate it. And if you made it this far and you've watched quite a few of my videos and part of the channel, I just want to say thank you for the year. This is going to be my last video of 2025, and it has been a journey. Sure, I didn't end up where I planned to be. I didn't go as far as I would have liked. But I enjoyed the journey so far, and I hope next year brings plenty more challenges and opportunities that I was not expecting. Until then, have a great Christmas, have a great holiday, and enjoy gaming. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.